Okay, so Valentine's Day is coming up and you guys are gonna have a project related to it. So I thought it appropriate that I teach you how to create heart vector art in Illustrator. All right, you guys are gonna make some hearts today. Also show you a cool way to make flowers. So cute stuff we're making today. So first off, you're gonna wanna open up Illustrator. It's the orange app. So you can go ahead and find your Creative Cloud app and just open up Illustrator. Mine's already open. You are going to go to the home page here, and what you're going to do is you are going to create a new file. The size does not matter because you can always change it later. But I would call it hearts, call it something you'll remember. I'm just starting with the general 5" by 5" canvas or artboard, and I'm going to click create. Awesome. So Illustrator is very different than Photoshop. Illustrator works in vector, which means like mathematical equations of shapes. So what I want you to just think of Illustrator is working with shapes. Photoshop is working with layers and pictures. All right. So Illustrator is what you'd use to make logos or to make vector art, stuff that's going to be blown up to different sizes. So anyway, we're going to make some hearts. So to show you how to do that, first off, like Photoshop, your kind of palette is over here on the bottom left corner. Right now it's set to give a fill of white and a stroke of black. I want to kind of get rid of a stroke. I'm going to get rid of the stroke. And as for the fill, I'm going to click here and you'll see over here my color guide pop up. And it looks a little different than Photoshop, but it's the same idea. You're picking out a color. So I'm just going to pick like a pink I like. Perfect. That looks good. I'm good to go. Awesome. So I got my color set. I'm now going to find the circle shape or the ellipse tool. You can also get it by clicking L. So once I do that, my tool's ready to create a circle. But you notice as I click and drag to create my circle that it's kind of hard to get it perfect. How you make sure it's a perfect circle is holding down Shift. That'll keep the ratio. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to hold down Shift to create my circle, but if I also hold down Alt, it will keep it growing from the same spot I started. So I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt to do that, and I'm just going to make a little circle there. Perfect. So there's my circle. But what I want to do is I want to make 2 copies of the circle to make kind of the 2 like main humps of the heart. So I want to find the direct selection tool. And what that is the black arrow. You can also get it by hitting V. And pardon me, it's the selection tool, not the direct selection, just selection. So I'm going to hit my black arrow, click my circle, and then I'm going to hold down Alt. And when I do that, I'll see these 2 little kind of stacked arrows. As I hold down Alt and those arrows appear, I can click and drag. And before I let go of Alt, I'm going to release my clicker or my mouse. And that's going to make a copy of the 2 circles. So now I got like a little butt shape, basically. Sorry, but it's a little butt shape. And so I'm just going to put those kind of where I think they could work best. So using the direct selection tool, I can also click and move stuff around. So I'm just going to kind of scooch it over a bit. Also, when moving things, if you hold down Shift while you move, it'll kind of keep it centered or it'll keep it level. Okay, good. I like that. For kind of the triangle shape or the corner, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a square. So where you have your ellipse tool, you can also right click and grab a rectangle. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to hold down Shift as I click and drag so that it stays the same ratio. Because if you're not holding Shift, it will be crazy like this. So if I hold down Shift, it'll stay a ratio. And I'm just going to make it any size right now because I'll change it later. So I'm going to release. Then hit V or grab my selection tool again, And I'm going to put my square down here. And what I want to do now is I want to rotate it so it's like a diamond, basically a diamond shape. So to do that, I'm going to go up to this corner and I'm going to go to the outside of the corner until my arrows look like a little like reverse sign. And then I'm going to click, hold down Shift, and rotate. When I hold down Shift, it rotates by 45-degree angles perfectly. If I don't hold down Shift, then it's kind of like, woo, like all over the place. So I want to hold down Shift so that it's a perfect angle. And now I'm going to release. And now what I'm doing is I just want to move it up and scale it so that it looks like a heart. So I'm going to hold down Shift and kind of drag it to be bigger and move it up. And don't worry if a little bit sticks out the top, we'll fix that later. And if you're having a hard time kind of placing it right, then sometimes it's helpful if I have my direct selection tool or my selection tool. I'm going to click somewhere on my canvas, drag and release to select all my shapes. And then I'm actually going to go to my little swatches, my fill and stroke, and I'm going to reverse them so that there is no fill and the stroke is pink. And then if I go Control Plus to zoom in, Control Plus kind of moving around is the same stuff as Photoshop. To me, now it's easier to kind of scale my box, my rectangle so that it fits as the way I want. So I want it to be kind of like perfectly centered in between these two hearts, the two kind of heart humps. And another way to do that is the Align tool. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but that's why this is a video. So you can go back and check it out. I'm going to click this circle and I'm going to click this circle and I'm going to right click and group them. That means the computer now considers these one shape together. So with that one shape, I'm going to click on that one shape and I'm going to hold down Shift and click on my square. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to I need to find alignment. So hold on, let me hide something. I'm going to go to Window and find Align. This Align tool is amazing. What it does is it helps you order different shapes. So what I want to do is I want to click Horizontal Align Center. That means both of these shapes are going to be stacked perfectly on top of each other. Perfect. Click that. That looks good. I still might move this up just a bit. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of making sure that no corners stick out way crazy from the bottom of the heart down here. I don't worry about up here right now. I'll fix that in a second. So that looks good. So I'm going to click with my direct selection tool up here, drag and select my heart again. And I'm going to go reverse the fill and stroke again. And that's going to fill it in. Perfect. And I might even move this down a little bit more. I think that's relatively good. We're first time making hearts, so we're doing fine. Awesome. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to grab this whole heart and I'm actually going to go over to the Live Paint selection tool. You can also get it by kind of right-clicking right here. It's in the same area as the Live Paint bucket and the Shape Builder tool. So let me show you this. Live Paint Bucket is awesome. It's basically turning your shapes into a coloring page. So when I click on whatever shapes I have selected, it activates this area to become a coloring page. So I'm going to click off it for a second, and then I'm going to change my fill to nothing. Click back on my paint bucket, and I'm going to remove this little corner right here. Click, and there, it's gone because I just told the computer that that has no fill. So visually, we've got a heart. That's awesome. But actually, when I drag and select it all, there still are invisible lines that show all the different workspace. And I don't want that. I just want it to be a heart. So what I'm going to do is I want to click Expand up here. Expand basically gets rid of any invisible paths. So it got rid of the path right there. So now my heart is basically just a collection of different shapes, and I want them to be all one shape. So to do that, I actually need to use my Pathfinder, which is in the same panel as Align. And I want to click Unite. And now it merges all the shapes. So it is one shape, one heart. Awesome. And that's how you create a heart. Now, if you'll notice, if I zoom in, my square left some little lines here. To get rid of that, I'm just going to go to the pen tool and click delete anchor point. And I can just click delete on any little ones I don't like. So I'm going to click over here too. Boom. That got rid of those little corners. And now I have a heart. To save this, so if I want to use it on like a Photoshop document, I'm going to scale this up. I'm just going to fit it in my artboard, and I can just go File. I can go Export, Export as PNG, and I'm going to make sure I say Use Artboards. Click Export. And when this appears, I want to make sure it's on transparent. All right, if it's on transparent, then this is going to act like a shape I can put on other places. I'm also going to make sure the resolution is 300 just because I like things to be high quality. And I'm going to click OK to save it. And that's how you make a heart.